Hey there. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So today we're diving into a timeline of inventions. We've got all these excerpts from this book about where good ideas come from.
Interesting.
But honestly, the inventions themselves are so cool we can talk about them all day.
Yeah.
From simple clocks to like mind-blowing discoveries about the universe, get ready for some serious aha moments.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So what's so fascinating about this is that we're not just looking at a list of gadgets, but a roadmap of how human ingenuity builds upon itself.
Exactly. Each invention sparks new possibilities, leading to even more incredible breakthroughs. It's like a chain reaction of brilliance.
I love that. Okay, let's rewind all the way back to the 1600s,
Right.
the age of Galileo. You know, the guy who supposedly dropped stuff off the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah.
Turns out he did a lot more than that. Galileo provided the first definitive proof of uniform acceleration,
Right.
a fundamental concept in physics.
It explains how objects in free fall accelerate at a constant rate. So before Galileo, we didn't really understand how gravity worked.
Not with the same precision. His work was a major step forward in our understanding of the physical world. And get this, just a few years later, in 1637, René Descartes invents analytic geometry.
Wow.
He basically gave us a whole new language to describe shapes and objects, bridging the gap between geometry and algebra.
Okay, I'm going to need you to break that down for me. How did that change things?
Well, imagine trying to analyze complex curves and shapes using only traditional geometric methods. It was incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
But with analytic geometry, we could translate those shapes into numerical representations, opening up a whole new world of mathematical possibilities.
Wow.
This was crucial for later advancements in fields like calculus and engineering.
Wow, I never realized how important geometry was for all those other discoveries.
It's pretty fundamental.
Yeah, so from understanding gravity to a new language for shapes, we're off to a pretty amazing start.
We are.
What comes next on our timeline?
Now, imagine you're a miner in the 1640s, struggling to pump water out of deep mines.
Okay.
Enter Evangelista Torricelli, who, while trying to solve this very problem, stumbled upon the idea for the barometer.
Oh.
You know, the instrument that measures air pressure.
Yeah, I remember using one in science class. But I'd never thought about how it was invented.
Right. It's so commonplace now. But back then, it was a revolutionary concept.
Yeah.
And here's the kicker. The invention of the barometer was a key step towards creating a vacuum.
Wait, what? How does measuring air pressure lead to a vacuum?
Well, think about it. To create a vacuum, you need to remove all the air from a container.
Right.
But before the barometer, we didn't have a reliable way to measure whether we had actually achieved a vacuum.
Oh, that makes sense. So by understanding air pressure, they could figure out how to create a vacuum.
Exactly.
And a vacuum led to...
The vacuum pump, which was instrumental in the development of the steam engine.
No way. It's all connected. So this seemingly simple device for measuring air pressure actually helped pave the way for one of the most important inventions of the Industrial Revolution.
Exactly. And that's what's so fascinating about this timeline, seeing how seemingly unrelated discoveries can have such a profound impact on each other.
Okay, I'm officially hooked. Let's keep going. What other game-changing inventions emerged during this time?
Well, let's talk about something we take for granted today, keeping time accurately. In 1656, Christian Huygens, inspired by Galileo's work on pendulums, invented the pendulum clock.
A pendulum clock? That sounds pretty basic.
It might seem basic now, but imagine trying to navigate a vast ocean without a reliable way to measure time.
True.
Huygens' invention was a game changer for exploration, trade, and our understanding of the universe itself.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. So accurate timekeeping was essential for exploration. What else was happening in the world of exploration during this era?
Well, in the 1730s, we get the octant, a navigational instrument that used mirrors and a telescope to help sailors determine their latitude at sea.
Okay.
It was a huge improvement over previous methods and made ocean voyages much safer and more efficient.
It sounds like an early GPS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The octant was a crucial step in our ability to navigate the globe and explore new lands.
Yeah.
But the demand for better navigation also drove innovations in other areas, such as optics and precision engineering, pushing those fields forward as well.
It's amazing how one invention can spark innovation in seemingly unrelated areas.
It's true.
So we've gone from understanding gravity to measuring air pressure to keeping time and navigating the seas.
Yep.
What's next on our whirlwind tour of invention?
Well, the 1700s brought about a period of rapid innovation, particularly in the textile industry.
Mm-hmm.
We see the emergence of inventions like the flying shuttle in 1733, which significantly sped up the weaving process.
Okay, so faster weaving. Got it. But how did that change things on a larger scale?
Well, before the flying shuttle, weaving was a very labor-intensive process. It often took several people to operate a loom.
Right.
But the flying shuttle allowed a single weaver to produce much wider fabrics and at a much faster rate. It was a major boost to productivity and helped kickstart the Industrial Revolution.
Wow, so this simple invention for weaving cloth actually helped usher in a whole new era of industrialization. That's incredible.
It really is.
And the innovations in textiles didn't stop there. In 1764, James Hargreaves introduces the spinning jenny, which made it possible to spin multiple threads of yarn simultaneously. So first they sped up weaving, and then they sped up spinning. Talk about efficiency.
Exactly. These innovations led to a dramatic increase in the production of textiles, making cloth more affordable and accessible to the masses. It was a major social and economic transformation.
It's amazing how these seemingly simple inventions for making cloth could have such a profound impact on society. But speaking of simple inventions with a big impact, what about the power loom? Wasn't that a game changer too?
Absolutely. The power loom, patented in 1785 by Edmund Cartwright, fully automated the weaving process. It was a pivotal moment in the history of manufacturing, leading to the creation of large-scale textile factories.
It's incredible how these inventions built upon each other, each one pushing the boundaries of what was possible. But, it's easy to forget that these innovations weren't always smooth sailing. Take Eli Whitney's cotton gin, for example. It's often credited with revolutionizing the cotton industry, but
The reality is a bit more complicated. While Whitney's invention did have a major impact, it actually relied on a lot of improvements by other engineers before it became truly efficient. Inventions are rarely a one-man show.
that's a great point. It's often a collaborative effort, with each inventor building upon the work of those who came before them. So from speeding up weaving to automating the entire process, the textile industry was completely transformed in the 1700s. What other groundbreaking inventions emerged during this era?
Well, let's shift gears to the world of medicine. In 1796, Edward Jenner develops the smallpox vaccine.
Oh, yeah, the vaccine that helped eradicate one of the deadliest diseases in human history.
Exactly. It was a monumental achievement in public health. But here's something to think about. The practice of inoculation using small doses of the smallpox virus was already common in places like China, Persia, and Africa. Jenner's innovation was creating a vaccine based on a related cowpox virus, which was much safer.
So he built upon existing knowledge and made it even better. It makes you wonder how many other inventions were actually refinements of earlier discoveries.
That's a great point. And as we move into the 1800s, we see even more groundbreaking inventions that build upon the foundations laid in the previous century.
Okay, I'm ready for more. What else have we got on our timeline of awesome?
Well, in 1800, Alessandro Volta creates the first electric battery.
Let's be honest, we'd be lost without batteries today.
Absolutely. But Volta's battery wasn't just a cool gadget. It fundamentally changed our understanding of electricity and opened up a whole new realm of possibilities for powering devices.
So from powering our smartphones to electric cars, it all goes back to Volta's invention.
In many ways, yes. His work laid the foundation for the electrical revolution that would transform the world.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. But speaking of revolutions, what about the steam locomotive? Wasn't that a game changer for transportation?
Absolutely. Just a few years after Volta's battery, in 1805, Richard Trevithick unveils the first fully functional steam locomotive.
Wow.
It was a pivotal moment in transportation history, eventually leading to the development of railroads and transforming the way people and goods moved around the world.
I can only imagine how exciting it must have been to see that first locomotive chugging along. It's amazing to think about how something that seems so simple now could have had such a profound impact on the world.
It's a perfect example of how a new technology can ripple outwards, impacting not just transportation, but also industry, trade, and even the social fabric of society.
Okay, so we've got batteries powering our devices and locomotives revolutionizing transportation.
Yeah.
What's next on our journey through the 1800s?
Well, let's talk about communication. In 1838, we get the telegraph, thanks to Samuel Morse and his assistant Alfred Vail.
Okay.
They developed a system that used electrical signals to transmit messages over long distances.
It's like the great-great-grandparent of texting.
Exactly. It's amazing to think how far we've come since those early clunky telegraphs to today's smartphones that can instantly connect us across the globe.
Okay, so now we can communicate across long distances. What else is happening in the world of innovation?
Well, in 1839, Louis Daguerre develops the first practical photographic process.
Oh.
Suddenly, capturing images for posterity becomes a reality. Can you imagine a world without photography?
That's mind-blowing. No selfies, no Instagram, no way to visually document history as it happens.
Photography has had such a profound impact on art, journalism, science, and countless other fields. It's a window into the past and a powerful tool for communication and expression.
Okay, so we've got trains, telegraphs, and photography.
Yep.
What other life-changing inventions emerged in this era?
Well, in the same year that Daguerre unveiled his photographic process, Charles Goodyear accidentally discovers vulcanized rubber.
Wait, accidentally. Tell me more.
It's a classic tale of serendipity. Goodyear had been obsessed with trying to find a way to make rubber more durable.
Oh, yeah.
He tried all sorts of things, but nothing seemed to work. Then one day, he accidentally dropped a mixture of rubber and sulfur onto a hot stove.
Ooh, I bet that didn't smell good.
Probably not. But what Goodyear discovered was that the heat had transformed the rubber, making it strong, flexible, and weather-resistant.
So a happy accident led to one of the most versatile materials in the world.
Exactly. Vulcanized rubber quickly found applications in everything from tires to shoes, raincoats to hoses. It was a revolutionary discovery that transformed countless industries.
Okay, I love these stories of accidental invention.
Me too.
It shows that sometimes the greatest breakthroughs come from unexpected places.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that makes this timeline so fascinating. You never know what amazing discovery is just around the corner.
All right, before we move on, I'm curious, what has stood out to you so far in this whirlwind tour of invention?
It's hard to pick just one, but I think the interconnectedness of these inventions is truly remarkable. It shows how human ingenuity builds upon itself, each breakthrough inspiring new possibilities and driving further progress. It makes you wonder what amazing discoveries are still to come. And that's exactly what we see happening as we move into the second half of the 19th century. It's a period of incredible technological advancement, building on the foundation laid in the previous centuries.
Okay, I'm ready to see what the 1800s have in store. What other groundbreaking inventions await us?
Well, let's start with a story that blends science and dreams. In 1865, a German chemist named Friedrich August Kekulé had a rather unusual dream.
Okay.
He dreamt of a snake biting its own tail.
Ow.
And this dream inspired him to figure out the ring structure of benzene.
Wait, a dream about a snake led to a major scientific discovery. That's wild.
It's a classic example of serendipity in science. Kekulé had been struggling to understand the structure of benzene, a crucial component in many organic compounds. But it was this strange dream that gave him the key insight he needed.
So sometimes the best ideas come from the most unexpected places. Speaking of unexpected places, let's talk about the typewriter. In 1868, Christopher Latham Scholes patents the first practical typewriter. It's a game changer for written communication.
It's hard to imagine a world without typewriters, isn't it? And before the typewriter, everything had to be written by hand. Can you imagine trying to write a novel or a legal document in longhand?
My hand cramps just thinking about it. But speaking of cramps, can you imagine getting used to that QWERTY keyboard layout for the first time?
It's funny how these things become so ingrained in our lives that we barely even think about them. But imagine the frustration of those early adopters constantly hitting the wrong keys. But hey, at least they didn't have to deal with messy handwriting or writer's cramp anymore.
True, it's all about trade-offs, right? But speaking of communication, let's fast forward a few years to 1876, when Alexander Graham Bell gets the patent for the telephone.
The telephone was a truly revolutionary invention. Suddenly you could hear someone's voice across the miles. It transformed communication, bringing people closer together and making it possible to do business and stay in touch in ways that were never before imaginable.
It's mind-boggling how quickly the telephone became an essential part of everyday life. But you know, before we could have those late-night phone calls with friends, we needed a way to light up the night.
You're absolutely right. In 1879, Thomas Edison perfects the incandescent light bulb, bringing light to the masses and changing the way we live and work. Can you believe that before this, people relied mainly on gas lighting?
Talk about a dim existence. I can't even imagine trying to read or work by candlelight.
Edison's light bulb was a classic example of an invention that completely revolutionized how we live. Suddenly, nighttime wasn't so dark, and people could be productive for longer hours. It had a huge impact on everything from work schedules to social life.
It's amazing how something that seems so basic now could have had such a profound impact on society. But let's shift gears from the world of everyday life to the microscopic realm of biology.
In 1879, a group of biologists working independently make a groundbreaking discovery, the process of cell division.
Okay, so cells divide. But why was that such a big deal?
Well, before this discovery, we didn't really understand how living organisms grow and reproduce at the cellular level.
Right.
The discovery of cell division was a major breakthrough, explaining how cells replicate and organisms develop. It opened up whole new fields of research in genetics and cell biology.
It's incredible how much we can learn from studying something as small as a cell. Speaking of small but important things, what about earthquakes? Weren't there some major advancements in understanding and measuring earthquakes during this time?
Absolutely. Imagine living in Japan in the late 1800s, where earthquakes are a frequent occurrence.
Oh, yeah.
In 1880, a team of British scientists led by John Milne develops the first seismograph capable of measuring and classifying the strength of earthquakes.
That must have been a game changer for earthquake-prone regions. Suddenly, they had a way to understand and potentially even predict these destructive events.
Exactly. The seismograph was a crucial step in our ability to study and mitigate the impact of earthquakes. But speaking of saving lives, let's talk about a rather unusual invention that was inspired by bird nests.
Bird nests. Okay, you've got my attention.
Well, in 1881, French obstetrician Stéphane Tarnier starts using incubators for premature babies.
Oh, wow.
He was inspired by incubators used for birds and realized that the same principle could be applied to help fragile infants survive.
It's incredible how something so simple can make such a difference.
It's a testament to the power of observation and applying knowledge from one field to another. And speaking of applying knowledge, let's talk about transportation.
Okay, I'm ready to roll. What kind of transportation innovations emerged during this era?
Well, hold on tight, because we're about to enter the world of motorized vehicles.
Okay.
In 1885, Gottlieb Daimler attaches an internal combustion engine to a bicycle, creating the first motorcycle.
A motorcycle. That must have been quite a sight.
And get this, in the same year, Carl Benz designs a four-wheeled vehicle powered by a gasoline engine. It's the birth of the automobile.
Wow, so two iconic forms of transportation emerged at roughly the same time. It speaks to a period of rapid technological advancement and a spirit of experimentation and ingenuity.
Exactly. And while Daimler and Benz were busy revolutionizing transportation, other inventors were focused on improving everyday life. In 1887, German glassblower F.A. Müller and physicist Adolf Fick team up to create contact lenses.
Contact lenses, I can't imagine what those early versions must have felt like.
I'm sure they were quite uncomfortable. But even in their early stages, contact lenses were a game changer for people with vision problems, offering an alternative to bulky eyeglasses.
It's fascinating to think about how these early inventions often went through numerous iterations and refinements before becoming the sleek, functional devices we know today.
Absolutely. It's a process of trial and error, continuous improvement, and building upon the work of others. But speaking of building upon the work of others, let's talk about another medical breakthrough.
Okay, I'm ready for more life-saving innovations.
In 1887, Augustus Waller publishes the first EKG, a device that records the electrical activity of the heart.
Wow. So before the EKG, doctors had no way to visualize what was happening with a patient's heart.
That's right. The EKG revolutionized our understanding of heart health, allowing doctors to diagnose and treat heart conditions much more effectively.
It's amazing how much progress was made in medicine during this time. But let's switch gears for a moment and talk about entertainment.
All right, movie buffs, this one's for you. In 1888, Thomas Edison patents an early version of the motion picture camera called the kinetoscope.
So before the kinetoscope, there was no way to capture moving images. That's incredible.
But like we've seen with many other inventions, Edison was building upon the work of others, like photographer Edward Muybridge, who had already experimented with capturing motion in still images. It's a great example of how innovation is rarely a solo effort. It often involves a community of inventors, each contributing their own unique insights and building upon each other's work.
It's like a giant puzzle, with each inventor contributing a piece until the full picture emerges. But let's talk about a discovery that was a bit more microscopic, the powerhouses of our cells.
Right. In 1890, German pathologist Richard Altman discovers mitochondria, those tiny organelles that provide cells with energy.
Mitochondria, this always sounded kind of mysterious to me.
They're fascinating. Think of mitochondria as the tiny power plants inside our cells, converting nutrients into energy. Their discovery was a major step forward in understanding cellular processes, and it opened up whole new fields of research in genetics, aging, and even disease.
So these tiny organelles play a huge role in how our bodies function. That's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. And speaking of amazing things, let's talk about a revolutionary invention that brought high-voltage excitement to the world.
Okay, now you've really got my attention. What is it?
In 1891, the brilliant but eccentric Nikola Tesla invents the Tesla coil, a high-frequency transformer capable of generating enormous amounts of electricity.
I've seen videos of those things in action. The sparks are incredible.
Tesla was a visionary inventor, and his coil had a significant impact on the development of radio technology and wireless power transmission.
Wireless power transmission. That sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
Well, Tesla was ahead of his time in many ways. But speaking of things that seemed like science fiction at the time, let's talk about the invention that paved the way for radio as we know it.
Okay, I'm ready to tune in. What is it?
In 1896, Guglielmo Marconi patents the first radio system, using radio waves for wireless telegraphy. It was the dawn of a new era in communication.
It's amazing to think that we went from sending messages by telegraph wire to broadcasting information and entertainment through the airwaves in just a few decades. But speaking of groundbreaking discoveries, what about Marie Curie? Didn't she make some major contributions to science during this time?
Absolutely. In 1896, Marie Curie and her husband Pierre Curie formulate the theory of radioactivity, describing the spontaneous disintegration of atomic nuclei.
Radioactivity, that's some serious science.
The Curie's work was groundbreaking, not only for our understanding of atomic physics, but also for its implications for medicine, energy production, and even warfare. It's a powerful reminder of the immense potential and the potential dangers of scientific discovery.
It's both fascinating and a little bit scary to think about the power of the atom, but let's talk about another discovery that revolutionized our understanding of the universe.
In 1897, J.J. Thomson discovers the electron, a negatively charged particle much smaller than an atom. It's a fundamental building block of matter.
So before Thomson, we didn't even know that electrons existed.
That's right. Thomson's discovery revolutionized our understanding of atomic structure and paved the way for further advances in physics and chemistry.
It's amazing how something so small can have such a profound impact on our understanding of the universe. But let's finish this whirlwind tour of the 19th century with a couple of inventions that changed how we live and how long we live.
In 1901, Carl Landsteiner publishes his groundbreaking research on blood types, revolutionizing blood transfusions.
No more guessing and hoping for the best. That's a major win for medical science.
Landsteiner's discovery saved countless lives and paved the way for modern blood banks and safer transfusion practices. It's a great example of how scientific understanding can have a direct and positive impact on human health.
Okay, so we've got safer blood transfusions. What else is happening at the dawn of the 20th century?
Well, in 1902, Willis Haviland Carrier invents the first modern air conditioner.
Now we can all stay cool and comfortable, even on the hottest days. Thank you, Willis Carrier. But you know, as we wrap up this exploration of the 19th century, it's incredible to think about the sheer volume of ingenuity that flourished during this era.
It truly is. From the steam engine to the telephone, from photography to the discovery of the electron, the 19th century was a time of remarkable innovation that laid the foundation for the modern world.
And as we move into the 20th century, the pace of innovation only accelerates. I can't wait to see what groundbreaking inventions await us.
Well, get ready for a wild ride. The 20th century is full of even more mind-blowing discoveries and technological marvels.
Okay, the 20th century. Bring on those mind-blowing discoveries and technological marvels.
Look, we're kicking things off with a bang, or rather a flight. In 1903, the Wright brothers, inspired by the work of German engineer Otto Lilienthal, achieved the first successful sustained flight of a heavier-than-air, engine-powered aircraft.
I bet that was an incredible moment.
It was a defining moment in human history, marking the birth of aviation as we know it. It opened up the skies, sparking dreams of flight, and leading to the interconnected world we live in today.
From those first, tentative flights to supersonic jets and space exploration, it's amazing how far we've come in just over a century. But, you know, while the Wright brothers were conquering the skies, other scientists were busy exploring what lies beneath our feet.
You're talking about Richard Oldham, right?
Exactly. In 1906, he used seismic waves to deduce that the Earth's core is made of a less dense, more liquid material than the surrounding rock.
It was a major breakthrough in our understanding of the Earth's structure, providing a glimpse into the hidden depths of our planet. It's like we were peeling back the layers of the Earth, revealing its secrets one discovery at a time.
And speaking of secrets, let's talk about one of the most famous equations of all time.
You mean Einstein's E m2
Of course. In 1905, Albert Einstein publishes his theory of special relativity, which includes that mind-blowing equation that describes the relationship between energy and mass.
Einstein's work revolutionized physics, challenging our fundamental understanding of space, time, gravity, and the universe itself. It's one of the cornerstones of modern physics and has had a profound impact on everything from our understanding of the cosmos to the development of technologies like GPS and nuclear energy.
Einstein, what a legend.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got planes taking to the skies, a deeper understanding of the Earth, and a revolutionary new theory of physics. What else is cooking in the world of invention?
Well, back on the home front, in 1908, John Fisher brings a bit of convenience to household chores with the first electric washing machine.
No more hand cranking those heavy, wet clothes. I bet that was a welcome relief for a lot of people. But while those clothes were spinning, American embryologist Thomas Hunt Morgan was busy making groundbreaking discoveries in genetics.
Ah, yes. In 1910, working with those tiny fruit flies, Morgan discovers how genes are carried on chromosomes.
Genes and chromosomes, it's all starting to sound a bit like a biology textbook.
But it's so much more than that. Morgan's work laid the foundation for modern genetics and our understanding of heredity, the passing of traits from one generation to the next. It's incredible how much we can learn from studying something as small as a fruit fly.
It shows that sometimes the biggest discoveries come from the smallest packages. But let's jump back into the world of physics for a moment. Wasn't there a discovery around this time about electricity flowing with zero resistance?
You're talking about superconductivity. In 1911, Heike Kamerlingh-Onnes discovered this amazing phenomenon where certain materials lose all electrical resistance at extremely low temperatures.
Okay, so imagine electricity flowing through a wire with absolutely no resistance, like a superhighway with no traffic jams. That's the incredible potential of superconductivity.
Exactly. It has huge implications for technologies like high-speed trains, powerful magnets for MRI machines, and even more efficient power grids. It's a phenomenon that continues to fascinate and challenge scientists today.
It sounds like science fiction, but it's real. But speaking of things that have revolutionized our world, what about the assembly line?
Ah, the assembly line. In 1913, the Ford Motor Company introduces the moving assembly line, revolutionizing mass production. It was a game changer, not just for the automotive industry, but for manufacturing in general.
Suddenly, cars become more affordable and accessible to the average person, changing the landscape of our cities and towns and how we travel.
You're absolutely right. The assembly line led to increased efficiency, lower costs, and a profound impact on labor and the economy. It was a pivotal moment in the history of industrialization.
Okay, so we've got mass production in full swing. What other groundbreaking discoveries are happening during this time?
Well, hold on to your hats because Einstein is back.
Einstein again? That guy never stopped, did he?
Nope. In 1915, he publishes his theory of general relativity, which explains gravity as a curvature of space-time caused by mass and energy. It's a truly mind-bending concept that expanded upon his earlier work and further revolutionized our understanding of the universe.
So, not only did Einstein change the way we think about space and time, he also redefined gravity. That's incredible. But while Einstein was busy unraveling the mysteries of the universe, other inventors were focused on more practical matters, like getting us off the ground.
You're talking about helicopters, right?
Exactly. In 1920, Argentine inventor Raúl Pateras Pescara achieves a breakthrough in aviation with the first successful helicopter that uses cyclic pitch control, a system that allows the rotor blades to change their angle of attack, making controlled vertical flight possible.
It was a major step forward in vertical flight, paving the way for the helicopters we see today, used for everything from transportation to rescue missions and aerial photography.
It's amazing to think that something that was once considered a futuristic dream is now a common sight in our skies. But let's jump back into the realm of physics for a moment. Wasn't there a new theory emerging in the 1920s that challenged everything we thought we knew about the subatomic world?
You're talking about quantum mechanics, right?
Exactly. It's a mind-boggling theory that describes the behavior of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic levels, and it's full of bizarre and counterintuitive concepts.
Quantum mechanics is one of the most significant scientific revolutions of the 20th century. It introduced concepts like wave-particle duality, where light and matter can behave as both waves and particles, and the uncertainty principle, which states that certain pairs of physical properties, like position and momentum, cannot be known simultaneously with perfect accuracy.
It sounds like the universe is playing a cosmic game of hide and seek.
In a way, it is. Quantum mechanics challenged classical physics and opened up new avenues of research in fields like electronics, materials science, and even computer science.
Okay, my brain needs a break from quantum mechanics. Let's talk about something a little more down to earth. What about television? Wasn't that invented around this time?
You're right. In 1927, Philo Farnsworth files a patent for the first fully electronic television system. It's the dawn of the television age.
Can you imagine life before TV? No more binge watching?
It's hard to fathom, isn't it? Television has had a profound impact on our culture, entertainment, and how we consume information.
It's become such an integral part of our lives that it's hard to imagine a world without it. But let's talk about a discovery that had an even more profound impact on human health.
You're talking about penicillin, right? In 1928, Alexander Fleming accidentally discovers penicillin, the first true antibiotic. It was a game changer in the fight against bacterial infections.
Talk about a serendipitous moment. A contaminated petri dish leads to a life-saving drug. It makes you wonder how many other scientific breakthroughs are just waiting to be discovered.
It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest discoveries come from unexpected places. But speaking of unexpected discoveries, what about Edwin Hubble's groundbreaking observations in 1929?
Ah, yes, Hubble. He discovered that galaxies are moving away from each other at a rate proportional to their distance, suggesting that the universe is expanding.
It was a monumental discovery that supported the Big Bang Theory and revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos. Suddenly, we had to rethink our place in the universe. But while Hubble was busy gazing at distant galaxies, other inventors were focused on shrinking the world, bringing us closer together through technology.
Are we talking about airplanes again?
Not quite, but
Okay.
we are talking about a revolution in flight. In 1930, we get the independent development of the jet engine by Frank Whittle in England and Hans von Ohain in Germany. It's the dawn of a new era in high-speed flight.
Those early jet planes must have been incredible to see and hear. But while jet engines were roaring across the skies, other scientists were making discoveries at the subatomic level.
Ah yes, James Chadwick. In 1932, he discovers the neutron, a neutral particle found in the nucleus of an atom.
Another piece of the atomic puzzle falls into place. But didn't this discovery also have some darker implications?
Unfortunately, yes. Chadwick's discovery of the neutron was crucial for the development of nuclear physics, and this had profound implications for both energy production and the development of atomic weapons.
It's a stark reminder that even the most incredible scientific breakthroughs can have unintended consequences. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about a technology that revolutionized navigation and played a crucial role in World War II.
You're talking about radar, right?
Exactly. In 1935, Robert Watson Watt develops radar, a system that uses radio waves to detect objects, transforming everything from aviation and shipping to weather forecasting and military strategy.
It's amazing how a technology that was initially developed for peaceful purposes could have such a profound impact on warfare. But speaking of technologies that transform the way we consume information and entertainment, what about the tape recorder?
Ah, the tape recorder. It's hard to believe that before 1935 there was no way to easily record and play back sound.
You're absolutely right. The tape recorder, developed by German engineer S.J. Begun, revolutionized the music industry, broadcasting, journalism, and home entertainment.
From recording studio albums to capturing family memories, the tape recorder changed the way we experienced and preserved sound. But let's talk about a discovery that revolutionized the world of fashion and materials.
Nylon. In 1937, Wallace Carruthers, a chemist at DuPont, invents nylon, a synthetic fiber that quickly becomes a household name. From stockings to parachutes, nylon's versatility knows no bounds.
It's amazing how quickly nylon became ubiquitous. But while nylon was transforming the fashion industry, another scientist was revolutionizing our understanding of the natural world.
In 1935, Arthur Tansley formally defines the concept of an ecosystem.
An ecosystem, I remember learning about this in school, but why was this concept so important?
Well, before Tansley, scientists tended to study individual species in isolation. But Tansley emphasized the interconnectedness of living organisms and their environment, highlighting the complex web of relationships within natural systems.
It's a much more holistic view of nature.
Exactly. And this concept has become increasingly important in our understanding of environmental issues and the need to preserve biodiversity.
Okay, we're getting close to the mid-20th century. What other groundbreaking discoveries await us?
Well, let's delve into the world of cellular energy. In 1937, Hans Krebs unravels the mysteries of cellular respiration, with his discovery of the Krebs cycle. It's the process by which cells convert nutrients into energy, and it's essential for life as we know it.
It's the cycle that keeps us going.
Exactly. But let's talk about a discovery that has both positive and negative implications for humanity, the harnessing of nuclear energy.
Uh-oh, this sounds a bit ominous.
Well, in 1938, Enrico Fermi and Leo Szilard build the first nuclear reactor, a device that controls nuclear chain reactions.
Didn't this eventually lead to the development of the atomic bomb?
Unfortunately, yes. But it also paved the way for nuclear power, a source of energy that has the potential to be both incredibly powerful and incredibly dangerous.
It's a sobering reminder that even the most incredible scientific breakthroughs can have unintended consequences. But let's focus on the positive for a moment. In 1944, Konrad Zuse, a German engineer, is credited with building the first fully functioning modern computer.
Zuse's computer was a marvel of engineering. It used a binary system and was programmable, laying the foundation for the digital revolution that would transform every aspect of our lives.
From smartphones to the internet, it's amazing to think that it all goes back to those early computers. But speaking of revolutionary discoveries, let's talk about DNA. Wasn't there a major breakthrough in our understanding of DNA around this time?
You're talking about the Avery McLeod-McCarty experiment in 1944.
Exactly. Didn't that experiment prove that DNA, not protein, is the carrier of genetic information?
Absolutely. It was a game changer in our understanding of heredity.
Yeah.
It revolutionized genetics and opened up new avenues of research into the molecular basis of life.
Okay, so now we know that DNA is the blueprint of life. But let's talk about something a little more practical and delicious.
You're talking about the microwave oven, right?
You know it. In 1946, Percy Spencer, an engineer at Raytheon, accidentally discovers the heating properties of microwaves while working on radar technology.
And this led to the invention of the microwave oven, a device that has become a kitchen staple around the world.
From reheating leftovers to popping popcorn, the microwave oven has made cooking faster and more convenient than ever before.
It's another great example of serendipity in science, where an unexpected observation leads to a groundbreaking invention that transforms everyday life.
Okay, I'm ready for more technological marvels. What else is brewing in the mid-20th century?
Well, in 1947, we had the invention of the transistor.
The transistor, that sounds familiar, but I'm not sure I remember what it is.
It's a tiny device that can amplify and switch electronic signals. It was revolutionary because it replaced bulky vacuum tubes, leading to the miniaturization of electronics.
Ah, so the transistor paved the way for smaller and more portable electronics.
Exactly. It's hard to imagine modern electronics without the transistor. But speaking of things that are hard to imagine, what about radiocarbon dating?
Radiocarbon dating, doesn't that have something to do with determining the age of ancient artifacts?
You're absolutely right. In 1949, Willard Libby develops radiocarbon dating, a technique that uses the decay of carbon-14 to determine the age of organic materials. It's like having a time machine for archaeologists.
It must have revolutionized our understanding of the past.
It absolutely did. Radiocarbon dating provided valuable insights into human history and prehistory, allowing us to date organic materials with unprecedented accuracy. But let's shift gears back to the world of medicine for a moment.
Okay, I'm ready for more life-saving discoveries.
In 1950, John Hopps develops the first artificial pacemaker, a device that uses electrical impulses to regulate the heartbeat.
It's a groundbreaking invention that has given hope to people with heart conditions, extending their lives and improving their quality of life.
The artificial pacemaker is a testament to the power of biomedical engineering and our ability to use technology to enhance human health. But speaking of technologies that have had a profound impact on human health, let's talk about the birth control pill.
Okay, this is a topic that has definitely had a major impact on society.
In 1951, a team of scientists, including John Rock and Carl Djerassi, developed the first oral contraceptive pill, a revolutionary form of birth control that gives women greater control over their reproductive health.
It was a major social and cultural shift, empowering women to make choices about family planning and pursue educational and career opportunities.
You're absolutely right. The birth control pill has had a profound impact on women's lives and on society as a whole. But speaking of profound impacts, let's talk about a fascinating experiment that provided insights into the origins of life.
Okay, this sounds intriguing. Tell me more.
Well, in 1953, Stanley Miller and Harold Urey conduct a groundbreaking experiment that simulates the conditions of early Earth.
Early Earth. So we're talking billions of years ago.
Exactly. They were trying to understand how life could have emerged from non-living matter. And guess what they discovered? Amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, could be spontaneously formed from simple inorganic molecules under these conditions.
So the ingredients for life could have just assembled themselves under the right conditions. That's mind-blowing.
It's a major step forward in our understanding of the origins of life. But speaking of major steps forward, what about the discovery of the structure of DNA?
Ah, DNA. That's the molecule that holds the blueprint of life. But didn't we already talk about DNA?
We talked about the discovery that DNA is the carrier of genetic information. But in 1953, James Watson and Francis Crick, building upon the work of Rosalind Franklin, discovered the double helix structure of DNA. It's one of the most significant discoveries in the history of biology.
So now we know not only what DNA does, but what it looks like. That double helix image is iconic.
It's a testament to the power of scientific collaboration and the importance of building upon the work of others. But let's talk about a technology that changed the way we consume entertainment at home.
Okay, are we talking about video games?
Not quite. But we are talking about a revolution in home entertainment. In 1956, Charles Ginzburg develops the first practical video cassette recorder, or VCR. It's a game changer, allowing people to record and watch television shows and movies at their convenience.
Remember those clunky VHS tapes?
It's hard to believe that was cutting-edge technology at one point. But speaking of cutting-edge technology, what about lasers?
Lasers. Now we're talking.
In 1958, Arthur Schawlow and Charles Towns invent the laser, a device that emits a focused beam of light.
From laser pointers to barcode scanners, laser surgery to fiber optic communication, lasers have become an indispensable tool in countless fields.
You're absolutely right. The laser is a versatile tool with applications in medicine, communications, manufacturing, and scientific research. But let's talk about an invention that has revolutionized how we navigate the world.
Are you talking about GPS?
You got it. In 1958, a team of engineers led by Ivan Getting develops the Global Positioning System, or GPS, a satellite-based navigation system that pinpoints our location on Earth.
It's become such an essential part of our lives. From driving directions to location-based services on our smartphones, it's hard to imagine navigating without GPS these days.
It's amazing how quickly this technology has become ubiquitous. But let's wrap up our whirlwind tour of invention with a serendipitous discovery that provided further evidence for the Big Bang Theory.
Okay, I'm ready for a final dose of cosmic wonder.
Well, in 1965, Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson, while working on a radio antenna, detect faint cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang.
Wow, so they stumbled upon evidence for the birth of the universe. That's incredible.
It was a remarkable finding that helped to solidify our understanding of the early universe, supporting the idea that the universe began with a massive explosion billions of years ago.
What an incredible journey through the history of invention. From Galileo to GPS and the cosmic microwave background radiation, it's mind-boggling how much human ingenuity has achieved in just a few centuries.
It truly is inspiring, and we've only scratched the surface. Think about the groundbreaking inventions that have emerged since our timeline ends in 1997. Are we still in an age of rapid innovation? What conditions might foster the next wave of remarkable discoveries?
It's a question worth pondering. Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the history of invention. Until next time, keep those innovative sparks flying.